So I got my little booklet here with just bill of sale and some cash. Got the truck right here, and I'm gonna grab the trailer, get this thing hooked all up, hit the gas station, and we will be on our way. Our plan is to drive the 10 hours tonight. We'll probably get into the town in which the person I'm buying the car off of lives around 11:30 tonight. And then what I'm gonna do is we're just gonna wake up early in the morning, meet him at like 9 o'clock, grab the car, throw it on the trailer, and head south, and we'll be back here by like tomorrow not early, late evening. So really not too bad. And then we get the rest of the weekend to just chill, because after doing 20 hours of driving in, you know, a day and a half, yeah, I'm probably gonna be pretty beat, but I'm gonna be excited to get this thing off the trailer and get it down here into the garage and show you guys basically the new drift car. All right, you guys, and just like that, we're back. I mean, I figure you guys wouldn't really care to see me driving up 95 and down 95. So Morgan and I left on Friday, yesterday, 2 days ago, and we drove 10 hours north to North Carolina, where we met up with Dylan on Saturday morning. We grabbed this car off of him. Super awesome dude. He has a lot of cool cars at his shop. He actually does stock car racing, and so he showed me, like, he has a 72 LS swapped Monte Carlo. I'll put a picture of that somewhere on the screen, but that thing was sick. But I'm really happy that he came to me about buying this car and approached me about it, because I really would have regretted passing this up, being that I kind of wanted an LS drift car. I've always wanted an LS drift car from day one, and that was like the ultimate goal of mine. And I mean, we have a long ways to go to make this one driftable and be a good drift car, but I mean, it's a great starting point compared to what I've been trying to get my hands on. I've always wanted an S chassis, I've always wanted an S14, but with just the way prices are going, it wasn't feasible. And then I got my hands on the Black V here, and I experienced what it's like to have an LS, what it's like to do a cam, maintenance, how simple things are on these things, and I was like, I really want an LS car. So I talked about wanting a Corvette. Corvettes are going up in price, and then when Dylan hit me up, I was like, you know what? This is what I should do. I know enough about these cars, and this is how I ended up with another first gen cts-v. This is an 05 cts-v. So mine's an my black one is an 06. This one's an 05. It's an LS6 car, 5.7 liter, T56, you know, bone stock other than a Volant intake and MagnaFlow mufflers and like a X-pipe. And it's crazy. This thing is, I mean, it's the perfect starting point. Got it for a great deal. You know, it needs to be gone over, but it's the perfect starting point for an LS drift car, in my opinion, right now. So I'm super hyped to show this to you guys. I'm gonna get it off the trailer now, and we'll take a look. I'll show you around and kind of talk about some plans with this thing. All right, so this is my new 2005 cts-v that's going to become a drift car. Now this car is rough. I gave it a nice detail last night with the gas station brushes, but we got some paint fade up here on the mirrors. Just some, I mean, regular paint fade, some clear coat peel. This car literally just looks like it sat out in the sun for its life. Same here on the rear quarter, but going around it, there's some spider cracks back here on the bumper, but really just going around it, there's no dents, there's no dings. It is a super clean and straight car, and it's an LS6 car. Other than everything just being sun faded, it's an LS6 car. I have it running, but I don't think you guys will believe how many miles this thing has with how quiet it is. The fans just kicked on because I turned the AC on. AC blows ice cold. But like I said, it's stock under here other than this Volant intake.
But this is literally like, this thing is quieter running than my LS2. And let me show you how many miles this thing has. Tan interior, I mean, that's all gonna go. These black door panels are going to go in my black car. But let me get in here and show you how many miles this car has. 237,096. That's how many miles this car has. The parking brake still works, which UV guys will know that a working parking brake is a rarity. I adjusted the crap out of mine on the black car back when it still had one, and I could never get it to hold. This thing was holding it on the trailer ramp, you know, going up and down. So, I mean, you wouldn't think this car has this many miles on it. There's no rust. There is even the exhaust and the cats, the stock cats, the bolts underneath the car on the subframe and whatnot, no rust. Maybe a little bit of surface rust here and there, but like compared to the black car, nothing. So it's insane. But the biggest downside is sun damage. All the typical pieces in these cars that break and crack are broken because of the sun. And the only other downside is that reverse can get a bit finicky. When you try and put it in, it'll like sound like it's grinding and either pop out or it'll actually just take reverse. I think that could be a failed transmission mount, which on that car I have the rev shift transmission mount insert because my transmission mount was starting to collapse as well, and it makes shifting hard, reverse and 6 being a symptom of that. So I'm going to try and order the rev shift insert, get that on this car to see if I can get the reverse issue figured out, and see if I can just leave the trans and not have to tear into it before actually tearing the entire car apart. And I'm actually going to end up teaching Morgan how to drive stick on this car before I tear it all down, because she's been wanting to learn, and the 3000 is really hard to drive. The V, after the cam, you know, and it has a lightweight flywheel, single mass LS7 clutch. It adds a whole complexity to it. This car is bone stock clutch, dual mass flywheel. It's super easy to drive, and this shifter is like butter. I mean, it's so just like, it's sloppy, but it's certainly broken in. Jeez. I'm not used to the throw being so long. I'm gonna take this thing on a first drive here. Just gonna go around the neighborhood. Oh God, I don't miss this dual mass flywheel. Let's go this way. Oh, the shifter's so sloppy. I think I just went from, oh, it has the skip shift eliminator. Jesus. So it doesn't let you go from first to second to third. It makes you go from first to fourth if you're in like a certain RPM range and speed. So we're gonna have to delete that for sure. Forgot that was even a thing. Brakes feel good. Works great, that's good. Now this is going to be a comp car, Pro-Am style car, and I don't know if I want to keep AC or not. I mean, like, AC works, it blows ice cold. Obviously I'm going to have to disconnect it, but knowing that it all works, I think I might try and keep it in here, because like, I mean, we did a night event in the 3000 at Showtime, and down here in Florida it ain't no joke. I think if I upgrade the cooling fans to just pull a lot more air, maybe that condenser won't heat soak as bad. Heat soak everything else is bad, having that AC condenser up there. So I don't know, I mean, I'll play around with it. But if I could keep AC in this car, that would be fantastic. It's so weird, to be honest with you, so weird driving a stock car. The clutch engagement's like high up compared to mine. Everything's clunky and floaty. Feels like a Cadillac, basically, but like, it feels good. I'm definitely definitely thinking that that trans mount is bad, and that's why going into the gears is a little weird, because it's the trans ultimately is like falling backwards. Common cts-v issue, but we'll take a look at it. Not going to take it on the main road, we'll stay in the neighborhood. Do a little pull here, good spot. Diff mount a shot. Oh my god, when I went from second to third, I pressed the clutch in, it was like boom. Jesus. Okay, I mean, again, it was on the list already, but holy crap, I don't miss that part. The loose rubber bushings on everything, I don't miss that part. But this thing feels good. Like, I mean, come on, if I drove this car, I would not guess it has 237,000 miles on it. I mean, I'd be sitting here, it just feels like a worn out cts-v. Like, it could have any, I mean, my V to a point felt like this, and it didn't have nearly as many miles, and it felt like this loose and all that before I threw the polyurethane catalog at it. I'm hyped. I'm really hyped, and I hope you guys are hyped too. I really just appreciate you guys following along. Shout out to the V guys. We're gonna have content for the drifting people. We're gonna have a bunch of content. I'm really excited to start diving into this and bringing you guys along and just creating more content. You know, the 3000 obviously not going anywhere. Gonna keep drifting it. We're going to the Freedom Factory in a few weeks. We got some stuff to do beforehand because it does not like the Florida heat as of right now. But shoot. All right, let's get this thing washed and start tearing into that engine bay. All right, this is definitely a car that looks better when it's wet, but not too bad. Not too bad. Yo, I kind of like this color. Like when it's wet, you see the metallic in it. Like I feel like if this color was like buffed and cleaned up and maybe got the parts of it that are all faded, like so, and like so, resprayed, I don't think it might not look too bad. But I mean, we got plenty of time before I try and figure out colors and such. But the color I was talking about is kind of similar to the color the car already is, just a little bit different. But I mean, shoot, that's not bad looking. That's a sharp looking car, especially with the wheels being clean and like light silver. I like it. So I'm gonna dry it and we'll start digging it under the hood. All right, so I got the LS6 strut bar off. The difference between the LS2 strut bar and the LS6 is the 2 sits up higher, so you can actually service stuff and take the engine cover off without it. The LS2 or LS6 cover strut bar sits real close here to the cover, so in order to take it off, you gotta take that off. But this will probably never be going back on anyways. The previous owner, before Dylan had it, claimed it had aftermarket fuel rails, and these are definitely stock fuel rails. I mean, like, I didn't, you know, go into this being like, oh, this is gonna have aftermarket fuel rails, this is why I'm buying the car. They're stock. Everything here is stock. It has this crossover line, like everything's stock. But I have a fuel line kit that I ordered that didn't come in time, so I ended up going to the parts store for. It's a full AN line kit that will allow me to build the fuel lines that I need for this car. So this car is going to get converted to AN, just like I did that car. And oh, it's so hot after driving it still. But we got the leaks. Oh, it also has 243 heads. Did not know that. The LS6s came with 243 heads. That's dope. So it has some leaks here, valve covers, vacuum lines. There's a weird, normally this vacuum line from the throttle body goes to the valley cover. Well, there's a weird nipple here that is just on there. That's a leak. That could be, yep, that could very well be where I smell the fuel vapors from. Something like this would go to a catch can and then go into there. So I will be running a catch can, again, exactly like how I have on that car. But looking over, I mean, other than just the normal leaks of with the age and the mileage, it looks good. It has these aftermarket little spark plug boots on it. It looks like he may have gotten rid of the metal shrouds that are on there from the factory. You got a little tear here in the You know what? When they put the Volant intake in, it looks like the MAF, they had to like cut this open to get some more wires from the MAF out of the loom. So, because the MAF is actually supposed to be rotated a little bit more the other way. But otherwise, it's not bad. It looks good. Everything looks pretty untouched. I mean, obviously this thing has gone through maintenance intervals and things like that, but it looks pretty untouched, and I'm still shocked at how clean it all is with no rust or anything like that. I guess that's the perks of buying a Southern car. All right, so in true Florida fashion, a storm came through. I washed the car. It looks pretty good. I mean, look at this wheels look good silver. I think I showed you guys that. It's been a while. I kind of forget since I started filming this earlier. The storm really threw me off. But thank you guys for watching. I am looking forward to starting this. Basically, what I'm gonna do is just try and figure out where to start. I really don't know where I want to begin this project and what a good starting point is going to be, because ultimately the motor is going to come out, transmission is going to go with it, and then I'll really just start tearing things down and all that. Interior is going to get gutted, interior is going to get painted, engine bay is going to get painted. Like, we have so much to do with this thing, and it's going to be a really fun project. But I also want to teach Morgan how to drive stick on it first. You can still hear the thunder. I want to teach Morgan how to drive stick on it first before you know, that drivetrain comes out and all that. But thank you guys for watching the video. I'm excited to share it with y'all, and subscribe, like the video, drop a comment below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.